Alright, so this is Michael Arrow again with the Little Rock Table Tennis Club. This should be video 4 of changing rubber on a table tennis paddle. This time we're going to glue the rubber to the paddle. We're only going to do one side in this video because I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to do the other side. So tomorrow's video will be just basically a repeat of this one, but I'll do it slightly different so you can see a different part of it. So I'll explain that as I go. Alright, so I have the blade. There's a question of what color rubber goes on what, on your forehand or backhand, and like, well, how can you tell? So I made sort of a mistake because I didn't look to see what came off what, but I'm pretty sure that the black one was on the one that was chewed up, that had this divot there. So some players like red on their forehand or black on their forehand. It just depends. I think this player used red on the forehand, and so this is what we're going to try to do. There's a label on the handle that is different than this side. Usually that is the forehand side. So when you're holding the paddle in the hand, this is the forehand, this is the backhand. So you can see most of the nice label that tells you who made the blade, what kind it is, what the characteristics are. That would be the forehand side of the blade, and this would be the backhand side of the blade. It's just one way to tell which side to put the rubber on. But since this handle is covered up, I'm going to put the red rubber on this one and the black rubber on this one, because I'm pretty sure the black came off with this divot. The red came off real easily. So, alright, so let's see which one we have. This is the rubber sheet, how it comes cut. It's a square, and this is black. So we're going to go, the forehand is this side, this is red, so this is black. So we're going to put it on this side. So I'm just going to rub my hand on it, just make sure that, yeah, it's pretty smooth. Everything cleaned up. Alright. Let's see, let me move this out of the way. Alright, a couple things I have to do this. We're going to use the piece of paper that the rubber comes in, and we're going to flip it. So I'm going to put the paddle on one side, and I'm going to hang it off the edge of my table so it's all flat. So the handle is going to be off the table a little bit. Let me make sure this is in the video. Alright, it's not. So hang on just a second. Let me move this camera over so you can see. Is that going to work? Alright, that's better. Okay. Check my other video camera. No, that's not going to work. Hang on just a second. Alright. Okay. Both cameras are lined up. I think this should be good. Alright, so it's also handy to have some masking tape in case you get stuff on here that you can just lift off. So if I had some hair or if I had something particle come on there, I would just use some tape and just go like this and get it off. Alright, so you got that. Masking tape. A couple of pencils. Some people use these, some people don't. I do. This is my box for all my gluing supplies. So I need my glue. This is water-based glue. It's Butterfly Free Check. Not Free Check 2, but Free Check. It's black. Black label. Water-based glue. And then you can get there are tons of these out there. They have little clip holders and then little mini sponges. Some people just use like pipe insulation. Like the rubber, the foam fitting stuff that you put around water pipes. Whatever. It works. This works fine. I have plenty of them. So I just use what they're made for. Right, so a little sponge roller and a clip. Gotta put the sponge in the clip, and it's good to go. Right. Close up the box. Now I want to line this up. So what I'm going to do is take the rubber. This is the label at the bottom. I'm just going to put it on and line it up with the handle. Right? It's lined up. And then I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm going to use my pencil. I'm just going to draw a trace. 1, 2, 3. On some sponges, the pencil shows up better. On some, it's really light. Alright, now you can't see this probably, but I can see a faint outline here. That's going to save me some glue and let me know where the edge of the paddle is going to be. I just don't want to glue the whole thing because I'm going to waste glue for one thing, and then when I go to pick it up, I'm going to be able to grab the corners and the edges without getting glue on my hands, and I'm going to put it down like this. So that's one of the reasons why I draw a line around it. Now I can see where to glue. Alright, so rubber is on one side, blade on the other. Alright, now here you can either start on the sponge or you can start on the paddle, on the blade itself. If you start on whichever one you do first, there's going to be more glue in this when you move to the next one. So if we start here on the sponge and then you move here and you put a bunch of glue and then you start to squeegee it or apply it, there's going to be a ton of glue on this. So whichever one you do second, use a little less glue on the blade or the rubber because there's going to be glue in here that's going to come out as you brush. So usually I start with the sponge. It has a tendency to absorb really fast, and I just do the blade second. You could do the blade first and then the rubber. So here we go. I'm going to shake this up. And I'm going to go in an S pattern like this, just from like one pencil mark, just in like maybe half-inch snake, just like that. And then the blade, I'm going to do the same thing. Alright. This is, I've done this a lot, so here we go. Alright, that's going to seep in quite a bit. I'm going to cap the glue again, and I'm just going to start to brush. I'm going to brush around the edges first, and the glue's going into the sponge on the little tool that I have. And I'm going to come to the middle, and then I'm going to go back out to the edge, then I'm going to come to the bottom, make sure I get it on the bottom, and get the middle, and then I'm going to go back to the edges where the pencil mark is. I'm going to make sure I have that. Now I've got, see, corners I can grab to make it a lot easier. Right, and then I'm going to pull one way, light pull. So not a whole lot of pressure. I'm just pulling to get all the glue going one way. Maybe get that there. Yep. That looks good. Wow, that looks great. Alright. So it's going to take about 20 minutes to dry. So there's glue in here. So don't spew glue all over the paddle, or you're going to end up with like a thick layer of glue, and that's going to suck. You don't want that. Just a thin layer of glue. Alright, so a little bit of residue. Just going to wipe this off again real quick. Alright, that looks good. Pretty smooth. Alright, so we're going to go with the glue. Alright, shake it up a little bit. And a snake. Don't use too much. And then I'm going to use the same side that I used to wipe this with. I'm just going to go, start on one side, go to the edges. Make sure you get the middle. Not pressing too hard. See, it's starting to absorb in some of the blade. So this one probably wasn't sealed. Come across the bottom of the handle, like that. The glue you can wipe off the residue, so you can get it below the handle. It's not a problem. Right, so then I'm going to pull one way. Now, I'm going to put some more in there because I want it in the middle. I'm just going to press out from the bottom out. If I feel like there's not enough and that the glue is going in, I'll just pull out like that. Okay. And then I'll go around the edges and just stab around the edges so that it has some better adhesion. I'll put a little bit extra right there. Now the glue, it felt like the glue really absorbed into the paddle on this. Um, I don't normally do this, but I might do a little bit more right here. Generally, you're going to try to hit the ball towards the edge of the paddle on this section here. So we'll just want a little bit more glue to make sure that there's some good adhesion. Yeah, that's good. Go around the edge. Alright. I just want to look for any dry spots or bare spots. I don't see any. That's good. Alright. So this is going to dry before this does. So what I'm going to do is put this up next to a fan. You can also use a hairdryer. That works great if you're in an emergency at a tournament. But I'm going to go rinse this sponge out, and I'm going to come back and put this under a fan real quick and see if it dries. Alright, so I rinsed out the little mini sponge, and you can put it in a paper towel and just squeeze it if you want to reuse it. You can reuse it usually at least once, maybe twice. But if it gets residue, see, this one has some residue on it from the paddle. I'm probably just going to throw that away. I'm not going to use it again. Alright. So now I'm going to bring this fan out. Maybe. Alright, so can you see that? I have a fan. Is it good? Yeah, alright. So I'm going to take the paddle away, the blade, because it's going to dry first. I'm going to turn this on. And I'm just pointing the fan to the glue, and it should dry much quicker. Like I said, you can use a hairdryer, but I have this available and it works well. So clean my glue applicator off. When you put your glue up, make sure the glue's tight. So some people use a device that you put the paddle in, and then it has two pieces with screws all around it, and it presses down like a vice grip. I don't use those because I've always thought that as you're tightening up around the screws, you get uneven tension on some of it, and maybe it's too tight. So I've always found books have been good. All right, I'm going to stop this fan because this is pretty clear. So probably ready to put the, when it'll dry clear. So when it's clear, you don't see any milky white stuff. That's when you put it on. So here we're gonna go. I'm just gonna line up. So now, because I use my pencil marks, I can grab the corners and it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna just line up the bottom label with this handle, and I'm gonna slightly bend up, like with these two fingers. I'm just going to bend it so it's going to be curved like this a little bit. So when this piece goes down, it's going to be flat. And then I'm going to just adhere. Alright, so here we go. The butt of the handle comes up against my chest. And I'm just going to go real slow. Alright, it's down. I'm just going to drop that. I'm going to keep my index finger and middle finger, and I'm going to press down with my thumbs. If you spit on the rubber, don't worry about it. It'll clean off. Alright, and then here's a move. Just go grab the top. And I forgot to get my roller out. Ill prepared. Alright, this is critical. Don't roll the shit out of this rubber and drive the glue into it. Here's my roller. I'm just going to set it on there and gently just guide the rubber down. That's it. Gently, like a baby's butt. Don't even roll it again. Put the paper on it and press down. That's it. Go around the edges and the middle. Press firmly. Don't do this shit. Don't roll the, don't do that. When you cut it, and then you wait, it's going to shrink back and you're going to have a gap around the edges and it's going to look weird. Alright, you can flip it over and then just press down. Now, if you can see this, I'm looking at the glue, and the glue, I can see a little bit of glue there and a little bit of glue here all around, so I was good with the pencil mark, and I had ample places on the corners to grip the rubber. So, alright, so now we've kind of reached the end of this session. So this is just an aluminum roller. It's hollow, and you set it here when the rubber's down and make it level, and then you just kind of roll gently as you put the rubber down, and that's it. Don't do it again. Alright, so now overnight I'm going to let it sit so the blade is on the edge of the table. It's flat, it won't rock. And I'm going to get a book. Alright, so here's where the well, we'll just do like this. Alright, so this is a law book, and we're going to put one book on there, and then maybe two. Depends on how I'm feeling. One. Yeah, let's do two. Yeah, two will be good. Alright, and then a couple of stones for wisdom and strength. That'll go down into the paddle. Give you some good vibes in the paddle. And so this is just going to sit for overnight. So it's 9:30 now. I'll get up in the morning sometime probably before 10. Come out here. We're going to pretend like we're done. And I'm going to take this off. Flip this over, and I'll bring some scissors. I'm going to cut this out. And then we'll glue the other side. So that'll be tomorrow's video. We are done with this one. Let it sit there. Sits overnight. Alright, so that's all of my how to change table tennis rubber. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, post them in the comments or email me, littlerocktabletennisclub@gmail.com. And thanks for watching.